Moll wherever you go. Just download the iHeart app on your smartphone. Go to iHeart.com to find out more. Now back to Moll Anderson Show.
Well, I'm excited to have on my next guest, Jackie Silver. She is aging backwards, and you got to love a girl who's willing to share her secrets, tips, and shortcuts, especially here at the Moll Anderson Show. And she is the author of Aging Backwards, Secrets to Staying Young and How to Think Yourself Slim, Healthy, and Young. Oh, Jackie Silver, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, how can I not have you? You're everything that we stand for here.
Gotcha, girl. I've seen your pictures online.
Oh, you're so sweet. I mean, look at you. I love it. You still get carded. I think that's awesome. I'm not getting carded these days, so.
Well, listen, you and everyone who's listening, don't feel bad if you're not getting carded. Some cities have stricter laws than others.
Oh, well, I tell you, this is so exciting. I love the concept of your website, Aging Backwards. Just because we're getting older doesn't mean we still can't look and feel great. And you offer an array of tips for staying young and gorgeous. Do you think staying young is a case of mind over matter? I mean, for me, it is. I try to wake up every day and say, you're getting younger.
You know, it's amazing that you said that, because that's exactly what I do every day. And in fact, I even have a reminder on my phone for 10 a.m. every single morning that says, get younger. And I look at it and I say, oh, I am, thank you. And it is. You know, anything that you think, you attract. And people can try to deny that, but that is like a law of the universe, the same way that gravity is a law.
Well, it makes good sense to me, I'll tell you. Well, we definitely have a lot in common, you and I. We're both in our 50s, and I'm proud to tell people my age all the time. And I always say it's never too late to make a change or be who you want to be. What changes do you suggest we should make with our sleep habits to stay young? Because I really need help with this one.
Well, number one, sleep is so important. And a lot of people think, well, I get by fine on 5 hours of sleep. And they may think that and they may feel okay. But the truth is that our bodies tune up in the middle of the night. And so if you're getting 5 hours of sleep instead of 8 hours of sleep, you're robbing your body of 3 extra hours of replenishing your cells and your hormones. I jokingly say, why pay for hormones when you can get them for free?
There you go. Well, I just can't seem to sleep through the night. You know, I'm lucky if I collectively get 4 or 5 hours.
Well, I'll tell you, anyone over 40 can take melatonin, which is all natural, over the counter if your doctor approves. And you can find it at any health food store, and you can ask your doctor what the dosage is, or, you know, look up online or contact me at my website. I met one of the sleep experts of the universe, Dr. Ruben Nyman, and he told me that he's been taking a tiny little bit of melatonin every night for 25 years. And I take melatonin. I don't take it every night because I sleep like a rock. But if you are having trouble with your sleep, you can ask your doctor about melatonin or do your research.
If you're just joining me, I am visiting with Jackie Silver, author of Aging Backwards, Secrets to Staying Young and How to Think Yourself Slim, Healthy, and Young. Wow. How do you suggest we visualize ourselves younger and make it happen?
Well, I love that question because I once did this where I visualized myself making a new body. And how I did it was, you know, and people have heard this before, but the thing is it really works. I found a body in a magazine that looked very much like my body type. So I'm not going to find a 6 foot, 90-pound body. That's not me. But I found a body that kind of resembled my body, only better in a bikini. And I cut that out, and then I put my head on that body, and it looked right. It looked beautiful. I put that on the refrigerator, and I looked at that for like maybe 6 months. And yes, every time I went to the refrigerator, I saw it. But I continued to work out. I continued to cut out carbs. And do you know that like around 6 months later, I actually looked like that picture?
Well, this is really wild because I've always made vision boards and put a body up there. The mistake now I realize I was making was I was putting Gisele Bundchen up there, and I'm not even close to 6 foot.
Right. That's the point. If you want to visualize something about yourself and make it happen, it has to be close to what you are, only the better you that you visualize.
I think that's just awesome. I really love the way you think. And I just think that there's got to be a way with our thinking, too, that, and tell me what your thoughts are on this, that can contribute to wrinkles and aging and all of that. I think our own stress levels and everything that we think in our brains throughout the day, our negative thoughts or any of that can contribute to aging ourselves physically, mentally, of course, but definitely physically.
Absolutely. Because you know what? I've read somewhere, and I'm probably getting all the numbers wrong, but something like we have 60,000 thoughts a day, but only 1,000 of them are new. All the other ones are from yesterday and the day before and the day before. And so what happens is we get into this negative self-talk, and a lot of times, you recognize it as same as fat talk, like, oh, does my butt look big in these jeans? But we always do get into these negative thoughts, focusing on the positive, focusing on easing stress. I'm glad you mentioned stress because stress is the number one ager. People think it's smoking, and of course that's not good for aging. Over-tanning, not good for aging, but it's actually stress, the number one ager.
Well, we're talking aging backwards, and we're visiting with Jackie Silver. I just love you. I just think it's so much fun to have women out there who are talking about their age, who are putting it out there and living a positive life and showing younger women what it really means to grow up, instead of grow old. I like to think of it as I'm growing up and maturing in a way that is positive, not like I'm getting old. We always say, oh, you're getting older. I want to say, no, we're growing up.
That, and I'm going to use that from now on, even though I always say I'm getting younger. You know what? I still look almost exactly as I did at 25, and there's a picture on my website to prove it.
Wow. That is so cool. I'm just blown away. 25. I mean, honestly, I wish I could say that. I've definitely changed throughout the years, but I like to think I get better as I get older. But that's so cool that you've got that same vibe. But I do think it's got to be your state of mind. I really do.
Well, a lot of it, too, is, and this is kind of a tip, okay, is the reason people wake up one day and say, how did I get to being 55 and looking it?
Yeah.
Is because they don't pay attention. So not to be narcissistic about it, but to pay attention to the changes that are happening and make the subtle changes in your life that will reverse those changes, whether it's changing your diet or adding more exercise or getting more sleep or using, a better cream. Whatever it is that people don't pay attention until they've gotten there.
Do you think that society puts on women, like I've heard people say to me, and I'm not going to say names, but I've actually had some people say to me, well, you're not going to be able to wear your hair much longer now that you're getting older. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's this whole vibe that happens when you're over 50 that you're supposed to conform and become, for lack of better words, suburban, that you're not supposed to be cool and hip and fashionable and all of that, which I think is why sometimes people are surprised that we're as young as we are. I want to say young as we are, because we don't conform. Why do you suppose, and where does that come from?
Well, I have no idea where that cut your hair thing comes from. I want to point out that two of the most beautiful women in the world, who are considered the most beautiful women of their age and now, are Sophia Loren and Raquel Welch. Look at them. They always have long hair. So I don't know their ages, but I think they're in their 70s and 80s, or who knows.
Oh, yeah, they got to be.
You know what? And their hair isn't gray either. I'm not saying anything against gray hair. If you don't like the upkeep and you have beautiful gray hair, then fine. I'm sure it looks great. Not you, because I've seen you. I'm saying...
Well, I have gray hair, but I cover it.
Right. Girl, me too. Okay, 50s and have no gray hair, I don't think.
No.
But anyway, the point is, I don't look like I'm in my mid-50s because I have long hair that's colored. That's one thing, okay? So yeah, I don't know who is anyone to tell anyone to cut their hair just because they're over 40.
I know. It's so true. We're talking about age, and we're talking about, being younger, and I'm talking with Jackie Silver here. And Jackie, I love that we're talking about this because I think that a lot of women get so beat down because they feel like they're supposed to look a certain way as well. And I know that sometimes they'll be in relationships where someone can actually, work against them looking better. It's actually one of those things where they might start to lose weight. I don't know if you've, actually had this situation where you've dealt with someone where they're starting to look good and they're feeling great, and all of a sudden their spouse will be like, no, I don't know. I think you looked better the other way. Or they try to keep you from growing and looking better. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know. I haven't been in the situation, but I've seen it so many times. And, that's the time where you have to kind of evaluate the relationship as well, because maybe you didn't know this person as well as you thought you did. If they don't want what's best for you and for you to be your happiest, best, healthiest self. A lot of times people are clingy or possessive or jealous, and that there's no room in a relationship for that.
No, there's not. And I'm glad we're addressing some of these things, because we are woman friendly here, but we're man friendly too. All of these things that we're talking about can equally go for the man.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is for people. It's for humans. It's not for gender. Because, men need sleep. Men need to reduce their stress. Everybody needs all of the above.
Well, I know. My husband, I must say, is looking pretty darn cute as he's 59, about to turn 60. And when I say those numbers, it's like, wow, really? Because he is so not that. He is not a number, and he just gets sexier to me all the time. And I think men need to embrace it as well. But, men can get gray. They can have everything, kind of shift and change, and they, get better looking. What is it about that?
You know what? I agree with you on that one.
It's just not fair, really.
Man with gray hair and a couple of wrinkles.
I know. They look more distinguished,
Yeah, but 60 is the new 30, so your husband is
he's hot.
Like a rock star.
He is a rock star, I tell you. No, I think this is great. I love what you're writing about. I love that you have a website that people can go to. And if you are out there and you're trying to, get a grip on the fact that you're turning 50, oh, honey, just embrace it, because life just gets better. You get to free yourself of all the crazy stuff in your head and just finally be the you've always wanted to be. Don't you think, Jackie?
Oh, I do. You know what the best part of turning late 40s to 50s for me, and maybe the same for you? When I was younger, and I bet some of the listeners can relate to this, I used to worry so much about what other people thought.
Yes.
And I love that quote. What other people think of me is none of my business.
I love that. It's none of my business, and I don't want to know.
I don't care. Whatever they think, they don't know me.
Jackie, you're great. We'd love to have you back on the Moll Anderson Show. And if you just tuned in, it's Jackie Silver. She is the author of Anti-Aging. Go buy it. It's Secrets to Staying Young and How to Think Yourself Slim, Healthy, and Young. And Lord knows, Jackie Silver, you have done all those things.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm happy to come back anytime. I have lots of topics.
Awesome. Well, take care.
Thanks.
Bye.